Alright guys, so today we're going to do the turbo blanket from Forge. Comes in a packaging like this. There are no instructions on how to install it, so I'm going to make a video of how to do that for you. So right off the bat, this is beforehand, so I've been driving around, you know, just like a normal daily commute. So just sitting here, we're resting at about 110 IATs as far as resting goes. It is 72 degrees out, and so now we're going to install the turbo blanket, and then I'll give you the afters on the IATs resting and then my impressions. But this is a log that I ran when it was, you know, pretty much like 10 minutes ago when it was heat soaked pretty good. This is on my high boost map too, so this is the map that I'm going to be running at the track next, but I'll be with ethanol, whereas this isn't right now. So this red line is what we're going to use to determine if this turbo blanket helps out, and then the blue line here, which is the IATs. So this was third gear and then fourth gear, so you can see got some timing corrections, some timing pull, same thing going on here. But like I said, the car was heat soaked already, so I'm hoping that the turbo blanket will alleviate some of the heat soak just for multiple runs at the track. I know that initial run it's not really going to change much, but if it'll help not get heat soaked, and then also going into the winter, I plan to run this map all the time. You know, at least until we get back into the 70 degrees in the spring. So I want the turbo blanket to help out with commuting and keeping the IATs down throughout my whole journey, you know, wherever I go over the winter. So let's see what it does. So this is what the turbo blanket itself looks like from Forge. Definitely good quality make. Feels nice and sturdy, good materials. So let's get it installed. Alright guys, so first things first, I'm going to take off this heat shield. So there's one bolt in front here, one bolt in front over there. There's a bolt right up top here, and then there's two kind of right down in here. So there's one down here, right, and then there's one in between these two plugs here. Alright, so heat shield's out. Alright guys, so here's what the turbo blanket looks like, right? So this snaps on right here. So what you got to do is you're putting this on first without that piece. You're tucking it back. So you're tucking it back and in, and then these will go down and around the, you know, the actual part of the exhaust that comes out of the engine. So the exhaust manifold there, and then the other side will wrap around where the O2 sensor is, and you just push those down and under. So once they get under, then we're going to put this piece back on the snaps, and then there's two springs that get hooked to here, and there's also one on the other side of this, so they'll get hooked together underneath. So to make life easier, we're going to take out the O2 sensor up top, so we can get the full wrap all the way around without anything being in the way of it. So O2 sensor out, so that way you can go right up to the edge of the exhaust manifold there where it splits on the Forge blanket. Alright guys, so I have the blanket fed under. So took out the O2 sensor. There's the split in the blanket, so we push that down here. One going on one side of the exhaust manifold that's coming out, the other going on the other side. Then on this side that's easier to get to, this side split, I put on the bottom piece that had the buttons on it for the bottom of the blanket, and then reached my hand down and under and connected it. So basically I spun this all the way forward as most as I could, so I could get under there and be able to snap in the other side of that bottom piece of the blanket. So I've done that. Now I'm rotating back. I'm just going to get it, you know, fit real nice and snug, and then throw in the O2 sensor again, and that's it. It's done. So I got my turbo blanket in. I got my O2 sensor back in. So that was a pain in the ass to get back in because it's so tight now with the cloth in there. So just be wary of that. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my bracket here. I'm going to spin it so that I can actually encompass this too with the cover. Alright guys, so I spun my downpipe clamp so that, I don't know if you can see it at all, so that that's down there now. So basically it's like kind of running right next to the engine, so that way I can pull my blanket over so that it nicely covers the whole side as well. And that's it guys, so that's on there. Just want to make sure everything's, you know, covered up. That's supposed to be covered up with it. And that's it. So that's on. Obviously you're not putting your heat shield back on. I don't see why you would. It's essentially doing the job for it. So for the springs, what I did is after I put the two splits down and I buttoned on the second piece down the bottom, the springs are down underneath of this. So I started off on the, but basically what I did was I spun this as far forward as I could so that I could get to the back of it, and then I put the springs on the bottom piece first and then pulled them up to the top, and then just spun this back so that it fits where it's supposed to fit. And that's it guys. So now we're going to do the heat test part of it. Gonna drive the car around a bit again, let it get heat soaked, and see what happens on our logs. Alright guys, so after you're done, like I said, you're not going to put the heat shield in, but the part of the old shield right here, I would put at least that bolt back in. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually put all my bolts back in where they were. That way if I ever need to undo this, they'll be right where I left them. So, alright, so here's our after log. So you can see the intake temps are definitely down, probably more around the 80s, 80s to 90s, whereas before they were closer to 100. The car definitely is different in terms of heat soak, so it definitely takes longer for the car to heat up at a stop. It's quicker for the car to cool off once you start moving again. Once you, like basically before I did this, cruising down the highway, just cruising, my IATs tend to stick 20 degrees above the outside temp. Now they sit around 10 to 12 degrees above the outside temp, so it definitely brought them down as far as a cruising aspect is concerned. And yeah, so all around I'm happy with it. I think it's a good $50 well spent. Definitely helps. Now obviously I'm taking these on a heat soaked, from being already heat soaked, so I am going to have some timing corrections, so don't mind that. I was probably driving for about a half hour before I did this, but the point is the intake temps that you're getting after that point are definitely lower than they would have been without the turbo blanket. So when you're looking at intercoolers, you're talking upwards of $600+ to get an intercooler. If you are nowhere near that budget, which I am not, so if you're nowhere in that budget, which I'm not, you can easily put this on for $60, $50, and it will help. So as far as making the intake temps cooler during the run, it's not going to help with that, but as far as combating heat soak, it definitely helped. So I say go for it. $50 well spent.